Hi, I'm Matt Cameron from the Koi Place. Today we're at a customer pond where they're having a nightmare. They had an old filter that was about 30 years old. Last year they thought they'd modernise the pond and this was installed. If you've got one of these, you're bound to know that they're not ideal, especially with half a dozen big koi in a pond. This pond's about 700 gallons. So what we're going to do today is scrap this. The customer's very unhappy with this, you can't clean it properly, and we're going to put on one of our filters that takes 2 minutes to clean. Right, let's get going. This is a demo model we put on a fortnight ago. We had it spare and we said to the customer, do you want to try it and see how you get on with cleaning the brushes? Anyway, after a week she said, get me the proper one on. So the pond, when we put this on, it looked like soil, it was black. Now, if you look at the pond, it looks like green water. So the filter's doing its job, it's cleared that horrible grey, black colour out of the water. Now it's going green, so we've got the proper unit here. So we've got the 25 watt Pro Pond TMC unit installed on the side. That'll be installed in place of this one. We'll take the demo model off. So if you want to have a go with one of these units, if you've got one of those horrible pressurised filters and you're unhappy with it, we can lend you this. Try it for a couple of weeks and see what you think. So we're going to install this. We can link onto this pipe here. We just take it from the pump. The pump is a 3,000 litre an hour pump, and it'll go through the UV into here. The brush will take the muck out and back to the pond. So let's get this installed. Thanks. Right, there we go. New unit on. Melissa's just done the final screw on the rubber boot there, the final Jubilee clip there. So she's gone to turn it on. Let's see what happens. There we go. Forgot to turn the waste valve off then and my feet are wet. Got plenty of flow in there. We've given this a really good clean before we put these back in. So the brush boxes and the cartridge have both been here for the last 2 weeks, so they've been maturing nicely. But because it's a mature pond, there's always bacteria in there. It's not like you're starting afresh, and it's not like a new pond syndrome. You've got plenty of bacteria in there. Just wait for this to fill up. Check that the UV is working. There's a little, if you can see, I don't know if you can see that. There is a glow to it. So the benefit of now running this system over the previous one is because it's not pressurised, we can use a pump that's half the power and still get more flow than the other filter. See there how much flow is coming out. So the other pressurised filter is nowhere near as powerful as that, and that's running an 80 watt pump. This is on about 25 watts, so it's costing hardly anything on electric. So 25 watts for the pump, 25 watts for the UV, 50 watts in total. We're not 100% sure how many gallons are in the pond. We think around 700 to 800. Because it's been dirty, you can't see, there's ledges in there for the plants, we don't know where the deepest point is, so it's difficult to tell. But this will run perfect. Customer loves cleaning this, dead simple. Easy valve to turn, and then she gets the flexible hose. We've got the hose here, so it gives her two options. She either puts the hose on to the hose tail and opens it up and puts it onto the garden. Also been filling the watering can up to water all the pots. So happy days, getting all that nice dirty water into your plants. You don't want to be watering your plants with tap water, it's got chlorine in. There's how the weir's working perfectly. This is about the correct flow. You can see it's just onto the top of there now. Dead on the top of the cartridge. So that's 3,000 litres an hour. Give this a couple of weeks, see how it's green. So when we initially came to the pond, that water wasn't green, it was black. That's how dirty it was. So over the past 2 weeks, the demo model has taken all that silt out of the water. And now because it's cleared the water, that's why the water's gone green. The UV, I don't think it's working, the one on the pressurised filter. Either that or it just didn't keep it clear enough for the algae to grow. And we like these UVs. These are so simple to change the bulb. Literally take the end cap off, slide the tube out, put a new one in, done. So some of the others, they're a nightmare to unscrew. These, this is brilliant, and we can take if we're struggling to lean over and get that bulb out, we can empty the filter and spin the unit round dead easy. So we'll maintain this now. And we'll look forward to coming back in a week or two and seeing that might be able to see the fish. I know there's at least 4 or 5 in here. The job's left to do now. There's the cables from the UV and the UV that's on the pressure filter and the cable for the pump that's running it. So they're going to come off, we don't need them. Right, we've taken the unit off. As you can see, there's tons and tons of slime. This was only cleaned a couple of weeks ago. Look at the muck coming off that. This is meant to be partially self-cleaning. You turn the valve, you spin that, but it does nothing. This is why they're absolutely useless. That's doing nothing. And that's why people are struggling with these units. I mean, the amount of muck in there, I mean, you would have thought that this would be a lot dirtier because, it's a sponge, but obviously the water's tracking. It's not going through all this, it's just sitting down here at the bottom somehow. The unit's useless, just handles fall off. You have to install an extra valve on it because the unit valve itself fails and this drips, so you either have to put your end cap back on or you've got to put a little valve on. Don't buy one of these. Let's have a look what comes out the unit. And this was so difficult to take off as well. Unless you're a young able-bodied person, you're not going to do this. I don't even know what this is. Absolutely useless. We take loads of these off. Every other week we're taking one of these units off, whether it's a cheap make like this or whether it's an Oasis. They're not up to a koi pond. This has just got, looks like bio rings in there for bacteria. Just slimed up. But yeah, if you're keeping koi, don't buy one of these. If you've got a little tiny pond with a couple of goldfish, yeah, it'll probably work. But anything else, don't bother. You just may as well. It's just buying twice. Buy once, get a proper filter. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.